February 21st. I am back. Um, just took a look out here today. Got back yesterday. Take a look. There's some good and some bad. Let's start off with the bad. So one of the things that keeps happening out here is I will plant my plants and then I come back a few days later, and not only is it shriveled up, but it's shriveled up because it is severed. And that's what happens. That happened to one of my peppers. That happened to, I think I had about four pepper plants here, 3 or 4 pepper plants here. Those all got wrecked. I lost this tomato a day after planting. I lost one over there, like the second day after planting, and they're just severed. And I come back, and there is another one severed. I have not touched this. That is what it looks like. So we have a whole ton of cats. So I'm thinking that's the culprit. I'm thinking the cats just come in and swipe at them and play with them, and they kill all of my tomatoes. So you can see that one dead. This was just an extra little one I planted. He's doing good, but he's much smaller than the other ones. The tomatillos are just toast. They are not looking great. It looks like one of them was severed, and then this one is doing okay. But yeah, we have taken some pretty heavy losses on those, so that is not good. The cats are just screwing me, so no good. One of the good things is that my tomatoes are ripening. They do have some damage on some of them, as you can see, but after the plants got wrecked by the frost, they're still ripening. So I think I'm going to take any of them that are a pinkish and bring them in, and let's see if they could ripen inside. Pretty cool. One of the other good things is some of my potatoes are starting to sprout. I have a bunch of weeds in here for some reason, but I got one there, got one over there. They're still small. They just sprouted when I was gone, but there are a couple of them actually. Let's see, this is the sort of thing right here. This is what the cats do. They dig down like they're in a litter box or something. So that's what I'm fighting. So one of the other things that is definitely good news is my seeds that I left here, the seedlings going when I was gone. I gave them plenty of water. They were kind of droopy, kind of worried about when I got back, but I gave them a whole ton of water last night when I got back in, and looked at them this morning, and they have really done some growing. So let me show you kind of where we're at with the rest of the seedlings that are going to be going in the ground here. Maybe today, maybe this week. Let's see. So I've got a couple of the other things I started, some of the cabbages, poblanos, eggplants, some more of my daisies, a couple straggler peppers. I hit everything with a shot of fertilizer before I went, just to hopefully give it a little bit of sustenance. But what really surprised me was the cucumbers and the red leaf amaranth. This stuff wasn't really doing all that much, and now these leaves are huge. When I left, we had leaves that were about this big, and 4 days later we got leaves like this. So I don't know if it was just the natural time of these things growing, but they are looking very healthy, very dark green. The leaves feel great. They're huge. So those are doing great. The other thing is this red leaf amaranth. This is growing very strong. I was unaware about how it was going to grow, so I just planted it kind of heavy. I put a bunch of seeds, not a bunch, maybe 5 to 10 seeds per cup, thinking that maybe I'll get, a couple of them to germinate, and they germinated great, and they've got big leaves already. So I'm definitely going to get those in the ground. And the other thing that is going in the ground today I'm working on, I bought a couple seeds from Haas. I got these Kentucky Wonder pole bean seeds. I got a pound of them. It's so much cheaper to buy seeds in bulk like this. And then I bought these Dandy cream peas. These I think I'm going to try to grow when everything is petering out on me, just because it's so hot. That's when these are going to go in, because I grew some of the cow peas before and they grew no problem. It could be as hot as Hades out there, no problem. But these are going to go in my whole fence. And let me show you what I just worked on today for a little bit. So this main line I have coming this way, I just cut it, added another section. Then it's not the drip tape, it's just some of this drip line. I have a whole ton of this stuff. I don't like it as much, but it's flexible, which is easier. It doesn't have to be straight. So having that turn down there at the end makes it a little bit easier, and it can go longer. So I just sort of pulled this back and used some garden stakes and staked it down. I think what I'm gonna do is at the very end over there, put just a couple, those 3 cucumber plants, and then the whole rest of this thing is just gonna be these Kentucky Wonder Pole beans. I'd like to do this whole area as well, up to maybe those bushes over there, and see what I can get. Let's do it. So it is Wednesday the 23rd, just got back off work, came back, and looks like we have some action. So good news, all these little beans, these are those Calypso beans that I planted, and my experience with beans is they just grow. They grow easy, they grow strongly, they just grow. It doesn't really matter what the weather is, they just grow. These weren't like this morning. Maybe there was something here where they were kind of just barely starting to come up this morning when I walked out, but I looked, there was nothing. And today, 10 hours later, I get back from work and we have full-on plants. So there's a whole row, there's a couple of them. Maybe it's a mistake, maybe one didn't come up here, but there are a couple spots where I planted. Kind of one off to the side, a couple areas where they're kind of wider. Oh, we've got a friend. Speaking of the cats I'm always talking about, these are the ones that are always hanging around. And there he goes. I also got the beans down the other day, as I said, and these are the updated growth on the cucumbers. So they are looking quite good. The leaves are getting quite large. You know, I've got pretty big hands, and that's just about a full hand size already. So see, this one is already starting to grab the fence. So pretty cool. Things are looking good. Nothing grabbing over here yet. Hopefully he could come back and find this fence, but they'll get there. Give them a little bit of time. As for what's going on over here, some of these flowers, these calendras, they're doing good. Some of them are standing up taller. This one just has not been as vigorous. I'm not sure why. It's getting the exact same water as all the other ones. It looked the same. It's just not really standing up compared to some of these. And these daisies, definitely putting on some growth. They do look like straight up weeds so far though, but we will get there. Over here, these are going to be our sunflowers. A little bit more space in between them. Still have some of these old onions coming up. But yeah, we've got some of those that are finally starting to pop up, and they're looking pretty good. As for the tomatoes, I just gave them a little trim the other day. Some of the low growth I took off, but the ones that are growing are doing good. These guys over here, I think these are the cherry tomatoes. I took off some of this low growth again, but yeah, another maybe 3 days and this guy will be knee high already. And unfortunately, it looks like tomatillos, that's a no-go. All gone. but I do have something else pretty cool to show you. So last night when I was out by the tomatoes, I saw some of them actually look like they are going to make it. They are starting to get red. There is some damage on a few of them, actually quite a bit of them. I guess I need to spray them or something. I don't know if these are worm damage or what it is, but they are starting to turn red. Let me show you. This is what I picked off of the 5 plants yesterday. There are a couple of them that are not so big and not so great. Looks like it might be some worm damage or something. Not really sure what causes that. And some other ones have quite a bit more. Not looking too great. Not sure if that's really going to be an edible tomato at all, but some of them look pretty good. Like for instance, it has a very small little crack in it, but overall that's a pretty good looking tomato. It's just got to ripen up. Some of them are monstrous. This thing is, who knows, probably £1.5 pounds, something. It's a big tomato. It's definitely bigger than a softball. I've got big hands, so some of these other ones are quite heavy too. I believe these are the Mortgage Lifter, but except for that cracking on the top, that's a pretty good looking tomato. Some of them have it worse. For instance, that's kind of yucky. I'm not sure how to fix that, to be completely honest with you. I know I'm not getting blossom end rot because the bottoms are fine, and I see that on just about every tomato, but yeah, these are looking pretty good. There's another one, I believe that's the Mortgage Lifter with the cracking. And asking around online, a lot of people said that these types of heavily pleated tomatoes are just prone to that. So that's kind of where we're at. These ones that are more round have less cracking. Like that looks pretty good. It's just got to finish ripening up. There's already a few more that are in better shape, but I think I am going to go through these, cut a few of them up, and maybe have a nice tomato sandwich, or I don't know, do something with a couple of these ones that are a little bit more ripe. And yeah, I'm just gonna let these hang out and finish ripening.